Okay, hello, am I audible? Yeah. So I have a PPT as well, but which is mainly the research work or data that I've collected in Ladakh. So I will show the PPT of the whatever material I've gathered in Ladakh at the end of the presentation. First, I will read out about the presentation. So listen carefully because I'm just reading from the paper. Good afternoon, everyone. Tashidale and Jule. I am Dechen Chuskit, a PhD scholar from Banaras Hindu University, and I'm doing my PhD from Department of Pali and Buddhist Studies. So I'm honored, and I really want to thank the committee for giving me this opportunity to present my paper here. So today I will talk on the topic reviving the sacred, the conservation and community involvement in preservation of Basgo Monastery, Kangyur and Tengyur Manuscript. So today in this paper, I will be sharing the journey of this project, the method used in conserving this manuscript, and how involvement of local community is ensuring their long-term preservation. This project not only safeguard our tangible heritage but also revives culture pride among the people of Basgo. So, the Tibetan Buddhist canon, comprising the Kangyur and Tengyur, hold a place of unparalleled significance within Tibetan Buddhism. This ancient text, comparable in venerance to Bible in Christianity and Quran in Islam, are not static scriptures but a dynamic embodiment of Buddha's teaching. The Kangyur, meaning the translated word of Buddha, and which includes sutras, tantras, and monastic disciplines. The Tengyur, meaning the translated treatises containing the commentaries of Indian masters. Basgo Monastery in Ladakh preserved this sacred canon, which some volumes elaborately inscribed in gold, silver, and copper. However, despite their profound spiritual and cultural values, this manuscript have suffered from neglected environmental factors and supervised restoration. This paper investigates the conservation initiative undertaken to preserve this sacred manuscript and highlight the critical role of community participation in this effort. Conservation of religious significance of Kangyur and Tengyur. In Tibetan Buddhism, Kangyur and Tengyur serve as a doctrinal foundation and spiritual protectors. More than 5,000 texts were translated from Indic language into Tibetan between 7th to 12th century by Indian masters and Tibetan translators. These manuscripts are not just the repository of Buddha's word, they are seen as a living embodiment of his presence. The creation and dissemination of this text are traditionally believed to occur immense merit, benefiting both the creator and patrons, ensuring their spirituality and worldly prosperity. The ritual dedication of merits common in Buddhist tradition underscores the altruistic intent behind this project, aimed at the enlightenment of all sentient beings. Historical background of Basgo Monastery. Basgo, a historical village in Ladakh, once the culture and political center of region. Its monasteries house the exquisite wall paintings and relics including the sacred Kangyur and Tengyur manuscripts. Some of these texts are uniquely crafted and lettering in gold, silver, and copper, adding to their spiritual and material. These are also known as Rinchen Nanga in Tibetan language. Religious practice and rituals. Even touching or turning the pages of Kangyur is considered to be an act of devotion. While scholars have studied the doctrinal aspect, the lived religion experience and ritual engagement surrounding this manuscript in Basgo remain largely unexplored. Condition assessment of manuscript. The manuscript house at Basgo Monastery exhibit a wide array of physical damages. So these are the material that I got, and these are the conditions that I'm of the Kangyur that they got, and these are what there are 4 conditions of the Kangyur, like mainly the golden Kangyur, which they try to preserve and restore. So these are the conditions that I'm going to read out. First, the tears and cuts, extensive age tears and cuts from the frequent handling, soot deposit and black stains resulting from the use of butter lamps in proximity to the text, grafting and scribbling, indicative of the past misuse or lack of awareness. And the last one is improper restoration. Previous unsupervised attempt had used inappropriate adhesive, furthering weakening the folios. A systematic survey conducted in 2012 under the guidance of Mr. Anupam Shah provide a comprehensive understanding of this extent of damage and intervention required. So these are the conservation methods that are used during the restoration process. The conservation of ancient Tibetan manuscripts such as Kangyur and Tengyur housed at Basgo Monastery holds an immense significance, not only for their religious and philosophical content, but for their role in preserving the cultural, historical, and artistic heritage of the Himalayan region. The manuscripts are irrepressible records of Buddha's teaching translated from Indic sources by Indian masters and Tibetan translator between 7th to 12th century, which I have already mentioned. There are not only doctrinal texts but embodied of centuries of Tibetan scholasticism, art, and calligraphic tradition. The preservation of this sacred text ensure that future generation retain access to spiritual and philosophical wisdom of Buddha, which continue to guide millions around the world. Furthermore, Tibetan manuscripts are vital for understanding the transmission of Buddhist thought and the intercultural exchange between India and Tibet. They provide a valuable insight into the evolution of Buddhist practice and historical development of the region. Their laws would represent a irreplaceable void in study of Buddhist history, philosophy, and textual tradition. Recognizing these factors, the conservation project officially began in 2012 through the initiative of Basgo Welfare Community. Over the year, the manuscript had suffered extensive deterioration due to the environmental exposure, mishandling, and unsupervised repair attempt. The urgency to act was heightened by the realization that without timely intervention, this manuscript, both as religious artifact and a historical document, risk being lost forever. In 2012, a formal collaboration was established with Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, Mumbai, under the guidance of Mr. Anupam Shah, a renowned expert in manuscript preservation. A comprehensive preservation plan was devised and executed. Following methodologies were adopted during the conservation process. First is the surface cleaning. The initial step involved gently cleaning the surface of the folio using soft natural bristle brushes. This process carefully removed the centuries of accumulated dust, dirt, and soot deposit resulting from the use of butter lamp during the religious rituals. Surface cleaning was a crucial step to prevent further degradation caused by the particulate deposit. Second is the mending tears and reinforcement. Many folios have suffered tears, falls, and thorough cuts along the edges and the central folds. These were meticulously repaired using high-quality Japanese tissue paper known for its strength, flexibility, compatibility with fragile manuscript. A gluten-free floor paste, specially prepared for the project, served as an adhesive, ensuring the repairs were reversible and non-damaging to the original material. This approach adhered to international conservation ethics, emphasizing minimal intervention and maximum respect for the integrity of the manuscript. Third is the edge lining. To reinforce the weakened edges and prevent further damage during handling, edge lining techniques were employed. This process involved lining fragile areas with thin, durable paper to stabilize the manuscript for prolong their usability during rituals and scholarly activities. Proper storage, which is the last one. Once the physical conservation was complete, attention was turned for long-term preservation, acid-free archival boxes were custom designed to house the manuscript, ensuring their protection from light, dust, and fluctuation in temperature and humidity. The conservation of this Tibetan manuscript at Basgo is not merely a technical undertaking but a sacred duty to protect the living cultural legacy. These texts continue to be integral to religious practice, scholarship, and cultural identity in Ladakh. By preserving them, the protect, safeguard, and intellectual tradition that has shaped Tibetan Buddhism for centuries and continues to offer a spiritual and ethical guidance to practitioners worldwide. Moreover, the initiatives serve as a vital case study in the field of cultural heritage conservation, demonstrating the effectiveness of community-driven, ethically sound conservation practice that can be replicated in similar contexts across the Himalaya and beyond. The role of local community. The success and sustainability of Basgo Monastery manuscript conservation project can be largely attributed to the active participation of the local community. Recognizing their heritage and preservation cannot be solely dependent on external experts. Basgo Welfare Committee prioritized community involvement from the outset. The approach with the root in understanding the empowering local stakeholder not only ensure the longevity of the conservation effort but also foster a sense of collective ownership and pride in the culture heritage. Historically, there had been limited awareness within the Basgo community regarding the fragility and significance of Kangyur and Tengyur manuscript. Many locals, especially among the older generation, do not fully comprehend the historical, religious, and cultural value of this ancient text. During an interview conducted as a part of this research, several villagers candidly share their memories of the time when manuscripts were not treated with the reverence they deserve. One of the elderly villagers recalled, "As children, we used to play with these pages of Kangyur. We did not know how important they were. We thought they were just old books." So this is how they treated the golden manuscript back then when they were children. They used to play with it while they were herding the goats and sheep in the mountains. So they were not fully aware of it. So this is the interview that I've taken with the elderly people at Basgo village. Such recollection illustrate the lack of awareness that prevailed in early times when sacred manuscripts were often left exposed to the element, mishandled during rituals, or subject to makeshift and demanding repair techniques. This lack of knowledge contributes significantly to the deteriorating of manuscript over the years. However, with the initiation of the structured conservation program in 2011 and 12, and significantly following the collaboration with Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya, Mumbai in 2012, there was a marked shift in the community perception. The conservation expert led by Mr. Anupam Shah emphasized not just the technical aspect of manuscript preservation, but also the importance of cultured stewardship. Workshop and awareness campaign were conducted to educate village elders, the younger generation, about historical and spiritual significance of Kangyur and Tengyur manuscript. A critical component of this project was the training of the local youth in conservation techniques. Selection process was thoughtful and deliberate, focused on individuals who demonstrate genuine interest, patience, and a commitment to preserving Ladakh's rich cultural heritage. These youths were trained in handling the fragile manuscript, understanding the material and damages, and perform basic conservation tasks such as surface cleaning, tear mending, aegis reinforcement. They were also educated in ethical principles of conservation such as minimal intervention, reversibility, and the importance of maintaining the manuscript authenticity. For many of these trainees, the conservation process was much more than a technical skill building exercise. It has become a means to reconnect with their heritage. As they learned about the manuscript content and historical context, their respect for this sacred text deepened. The project also provides livelihood opportunities in a region where employment prospects are limited, adding to economic initiative and to cultural preservation. By integrating the community into every stage of conservation process, the project successfully foster a sustainable model for heritage preservation. Today, the people of Basgo take pride in their roles as stewards for their sacred manuscript transformation from time when the children play with pages of the Kangyur to an era where these texts are carefully preserved and revered as a testament of power of the community. As the 2006 emphasized, community involvement is crucial in heritage management. Without local engagement, conservation project risk being unsustainable once external experts withdraw. At the Basgo Manuscript Conservation Project exemplifies how capacity building initiate and can transform local attitude and empower community to take charge in their cultural legacy, ensuring that transmission of future generation. Challenges in conservation. The conservation of Kangyur manuscript at Basgo Monastery was not without a significant challenge. Working in remote and high-altitude Himalayan region posed several practical and logistical difficulties which required innovative solution and persistent effort from both conservation team and the local community. First one is the environmental condition. One of the most pressing issue was the harsh environment condition of Ladakh. The region experienced extreme temperature with sub-zero winters along with fluctuating humidity levels. These conditions are particularly harmful for the ancient manuscript made out of organic materials such as homemade papers, natural dyes, vegetable-based ink. The lack of a controlled environment at Basgo Monastery made it difficult to maintain stable storage conditions for manuscript. Additionally, transporting delicate conservation equipment and material to such remote location added to the logistical complexity. Resource constraint. Financial limitation were another major challenges. Conservation work requires specialized materials such as Japanese tissue paper, conservation-grade adhesive, and acid-free storage boxes, all of which are expensive and are not readily available in the local area. The project relied heavily on funding from external sources such as the Basgo Welfare Community partnership with the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya and support from a philanthropic organization. Even with this partnership, managing costs for both the conservation activities and community training program demanded a careful planning and resourcefulness. Lack of awareness. At the start of the project, there was a widespread lack of misunderstanding among the local community regarding the importance of scientific conservation practice. For generations, the manuscript had been handled informally, sometimes even when in the ways that cause unintentional damage. As mentioned during interviews, some elders recall the time when children played with the pages of Kangyur without realizing the sacred and historical value. It took a dedicated outreach and workshops, training sessions to raise awareness about the significance of this text and needed a proper care. Despite the challenges, the conservation project succeeded in stabilizing the condition of manuscript and laying the groundwork for their continued preservation. Through a combination of professional expertise, community involvement, and sustained commitment, the initiative have been transformed Basgo Monastery into a model of heritage conservation in Ladakh. Now, let's talk about the digitalization and future direction. With focus on the urgency and importance of digitalization before further deterioration occurs. Inspired by the visionary effort of Rahul Sankrityayan, who dedicated his life to recover, preserving, and disseminating ancient Buddhist manuscripts, there's a growing emphasis on digitalizing this sacred manuscript collection preserved at Basgo Monastery. While the physical conservation of this manuscript has significantly stabilized their current condition, digitalizing the present represent our next crucial step in safeguarding and expanding the access to this invaluable heritage. The urgency to digitalize this manuscript cannot be overstated. Despite meticulous conservation effort, the inherent fragility of the manuscript remained a concern. The material used in the traditional Tibetan manuscripts, such as handmade papers, organic inks, natural pigments, are highly susceptible to deterioration caused by the environment fluctuations, insect damages, and the mere passage of time. Even the improved storage and handling practice now can be placed at Basgo. These ancient texts remain valuable to the unforeseen threats such as natural disaster, accidental mishandling, and gradual material decay. Without digitalization, there is a real risk for the physical manuscript could continue to deteriorate, potentially leading to the loss of critical information, including a rare commentaries and variant readings that exist in these local copies. Digitalization preserved ensuring that the content of this manuscript is preserved in high resolution digital formats before any additional damage can occur. By capturing the present states of each folio, digitalization creates a comprehensive archival record that can be referred in the future conservators and scholars, even if further degradation of physical artifact were taken place. Moreover, digitalization dramatically increased the accessibility to this text. Currently, physical access to Kangyur and Tengyur manuscript as Basgo is limited, both in to protect the delicate condition of the manuscript and due to the geographical remoteness of the area. Through digitalization, this sacred text can be made available to scholars, researchers, and practitioners worldwide, promoting academic study and spiritual engagement without compromising the integrity of the originals. This expand access aligned to the goal of Indian's Gyan Bharatam mission, which seeks to promote knowledge dissemination and culture preservation through digital initiative. In the context of digital humanities, the creation of high-quality digital facsimile of the Kangyur and Tengyur also open a new possibility of interdisciplinary research. Digital tool can be used to conduct a comparative study, trace textual transmission across region, facilitate translation and commentaries that enrich global understanding of Tibetan Buddhism. Furthermore, digital archives serve as an educational resource for the younger generation, ensuring that the rich literary and spiritual practitioners of Ladakh are not lost but actively integrated into contemporary learning environment. Ultimately, digitalization complete the physical conservation effort at Basgo by providing an additional layer to the security of this precious manuscript. It ensures that the teaching enrich that Kangyur and Tengyur are not only preserved for prosperity, but they are also made widely available to inspire and enlighten future generations across the world. The conservation of Basgo Monastery's Kangyur and Tengyur manuscript is not merely a technical exercise, but a profound act of cultural and spiritual preservation. The project underscores the critical role of community involvement and sustainable heritage management in safeguarding Buddhist manuscript for future generations. The successful conservation of effort at Basgo serve as a model for similar projects across Ladakh and beyond, ensuring that the timeless wisdom of Buddha continue to illuminate and inspire. Now I will show the PPT which are the materials or the data that I collected from the field visit, and how do we use it? Oh, sorry. Yeah. This is the golden manuscript which is available at Basgo. this importance of training, like which I've already read in the paper. I will just show you the pictures of the of that. This is I've already mentioned in the paper about the understanding the damages, tool deposit, tears and edges. This I've already mentioned. So this were the condition or of the manuscript available at Basgo. This photo was taken in 2012 by an engineer in Basgo named Sitting Angchuk. He was the head of this committee who was helping and was who was the head of the like the project. He was the one who clicked the photos. It's not my photos, like I'm just sharing. So this manuscript sorting, it was in the 80s, like once it was done before 2012. So these are the photos of the training session that took place in Basgo Community Hall. Again, the photo is taken by engineer Sitting Angchuk, who is the head of this project. This was the condition of the manuscript which were there before the restoration work. This is also the process of restoration work. And these are these are the missing and what is available Kangyur, like the catalogs of the Kangyur. These are the information that engineer Sitting Angchuk have mentioned in his in this, which he have kindly shared with me. So these are the number of catalogs which are missing, which are there, like boom. I think this is also the same thing, like what is there and what is, oh, thank you. Dulwa and all. These are the catalog of Kangyur, and they have the work was closed in 2014, and there's also everything is mentioned here. It is his work. The impact. This is the impact and sustainable. Oh, this photo is taken by me. It is at Central University of Buddhist Studies, where conservation work is still like going on. And this is not from Basco. I'm just mentioning it here because I just want to convey that the conservation work is still happening. And if a family have manuscript or whatever, it is damaged and damage, so they can give it to Central University Manuscript section, and they can restore it and give it back to you. So this work has happened. This photo was taken in 2024. This was the condition before and after. Yeah, this is the last photo, and thank you so much.
My first question is for our young scholar, research scholar, Chuskit. I really want to know what Basgo means. Basgo is a village name, yeah, but
Basgo.
I have a little doubt. Basgo is a Lama name, or Basgo is a monastery's name, or something like, you know. So I really want to know what Basgo is. It's a Ladakhi word?
Basgo, it's a name of a village which is situated in Ladakh. So we don't call, like we call it Basgo, otherwise it's Ba-go, a head of a cow, a head of a cow.
Bago.
Bago. Like, but we call it Basgo.
Yes,
a head of a cow, Bago. Yes.
My question goes to Dechen Chugila. The Bago Yorwa, Bago. What is the base of its edition?
Kangyur?
Yes,
Yeah, that is the, yes, sir. Yes, Kinla. That is the hypothesis of my research. I'm still researching on that. So the previous research, like I've read, it is mentioned that Basgo Kangyur is a locally produced Kangyur, and it's an independent Kangyur. The previous researcher from Hong Kong University, sorry I forgot his name, but he have mentioned in his paper that it is an independent Kangyur, locally produced Kangyur. So its lineages are still yet not discovered. So he had he had suggested that it might be related to Mustang Kangyur. He have wrote this in his paper. The particular line are Basgo Kangyur may be related to Mustang Kangyur, but further investigation is needed. This is what he have written in his paper. So, so in my hypothesis, I found a huge research, a gap. So I'm just trying to find as a research scholar where the Basgo Kangyur's lineages are from. So, yes, Yalla.
Which is close to it.
Uh,
Close to it.
Close?
Close to that edition.
Close to
close.
One main Kangyur edition, you know.
Yeah,
Nartang, Chunye,
Yeah, Nastang,
Peking, and
yeah.
Tege, which is close to it.
Which is close to the Basgo
Basgo,
Kangyur is,
yeah.
he has just mentioned it is locally produced Kangyur. So he have not categorized into this main 4 editions of the Kangyurs Angela. This is as far I have known till date.
Hello. It's not a question. I just want to know about some details of digitization of this Basgo Kangyur or Tengyur, how they are doing it, whether it is accessible or not, whether they have created its metadata or not, whether they are digitizing using the scanners or through camera, what the process and what the outcome. I just want to know it.
Yes, sir. You are, sir. Can I elaborate your question? Like, are you asking like how this project was processed?
Whether they are doing in-house in the Basgo Monastery or any agency involved, if any agency involved, whether they are creating metadata of these Kangyurs, OCRing, or they are just scanning and putting the folios
So,
in this.
as far as I've read, the known or by through interviews and stuff, digitalization, the process was taken earlier by Halkais from Hong Kong University, but he was not given permitted by the Basgo welfare community because he was not given due credits to the villagers. So they didn't give him the permission, so it might have stopped. And right now there is no digitalization, like it didn't happen after that. The project which I have just like shown in the PPT, that was held in 2011 and 12, and it was end in 2014. It was with collaboration with Basgo welfare community and with wait, I've forgotten the name of the organization. It was with the help of Chhatrapati Shivaji that I've mentioned. Yeah, with the help of that, the funds were given through there, and local.
in Bombay?
Yes, in Mumbai. Yes, the head was Mr. Sorry, I can't find his name here. Yeah, Anupam Shah. Yeah. So with collaboration of that, they have. They have conducted this restoration work. Right now, there is no restoration work going on, and the manuscripts are not accessible to the community. We have to take permission. In 2024, I've taken permission from his monastery, which is the head of Basgo Monastery. So then they have shown me the golden manuscript. Otherwise, it is not accessible to the community, and that is why I have mentioned in the last part of my paper that why digitalization is important and how it can help in accessible this manuscript for the future generation or researcher or scholar if they need it for research. I hope I've given the answer. Okay. So.
Yes.
Thank you. Not a question, but just curious to know, because you have said about Professor Halkias. He is my teacher. I know that because he is engaged, he is my teacher, my guru. He is engaged in cataloging and that Ladakhi manuscript. Just I'm curious about whether, as a normal learner, when I consult Tibetan canon, Kangyur or Tengyur, I use Pedurma edition. When I use Pedurma edition, it says that there are critical edition of, the Chone, Tog, Lhasa, Narthang, and Dege. There are different versions, different lineages, and they have critically edited, right? So, because as per my knowledge, Tog is related to Ladakhi version, right? Am I right? Okay. So, my question is whether the Kangyur and Tengyur, which we are talking for that monastery, is somehow in any way, if it is related to the Tog version, is nearer to Tog version, or that of the other that professor has suggested in Narthang or maybe Mustang version. It's because if it is clear, it will open a window for a new researcher, as you have already mentioned in your research paper, that a digitalization process will open a window for the interdisciplinary. So when you use this term, it should be very clear whether it is near to Tog or, I mean.
So can I answer?
Please,
Yes.
please.
Yeah. So I don't think, as far as I've read, I don't think it is related to Stoke, because there's already a research done on Stoke Kangyur, and if that's the case, the previous researcher must have mentioned that Basgo Kangyur is related, like the lineages are from Stoke, but they have mentioned that it is not. It's the local produced Kangyur, and they have categorized into independent Kangyur, and they have also suggested that it might be related to Mustang Kangyur, which is my hypothesis for the thesis, and which I'm still searching. I hope I will try to prove
So
it.
can we find a catalog for Tog canon? Do we have catalog for Tog canon? Complete canon?
Yes, I think so, sir, because since
I mean-
my research is mainly on this specific area of Basgo Kangyur, I have no idea, but I have just read a paper, like not thoroughly, the abstract where Stoke Kangyur research
It's
is
fine,
available,
great.
sir.
Looking forward to learn something in future.